talk about electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. Today, I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple of the big US automakers for a change, which isn't something we talk about as much outside of Tesla, obviously, on EV news. But today, Ford CEO Jim Farley actually made an announcement on Friday, which is today, that it will transition 1,400 workers off of the F-150 Lightning production line at its Rouge electric vehicle production center. Now, they're having struggles with EV truck demand. Now, Ford is the big leader in pickup trucks. The Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in the United States, the best-selling vehicle, and typically the best-selling vehicle in the United States as well. And so that's a tough one to deal with. Now, they're not laying off any of these workers. They're going to put them to work making gas-powered Bronco SUVs and Ford Ranger mid-size pickup trucks as customers flock to those sizes. Now, it's kind of interesting because according to CEO Jim Farley, Ford is the number 2 EV seller in the United States. It's a little debatable. Ford sells more EVs between the Mach-E and the F-150 than either Hyundai or Kia, but Hyundai and Kia are essentially the same company. If you combine theirs, then they'd be number 2 behind Tesla, which is kind of interesting because where Hyundai and Kia excel is in SUVs and crossovers, and the Ford Mach-E is actually probably a better value for a vehicle than anything that Hyundai or Kia put out, but it's being outsold when you look across the lines of what those companies offer. Now, what's interesting that Jim Farley acknowledged is that as of the first quarter of last year, China has become the world's number 1 vehicle exporter. And it's mainly due to the fact that China is the leader in electric vehicle production, sales. They're one of the bigger adopters of electric vehicles. And this is a big shock because it used to be the US and Japan were the 2 big automakers, and then Germany. And now China, at least for export. Now China is number 1. And they came out of the blue. And most of this has to do with how much they've adopted EVs and gotten on the bandwagon. So Um, now, Jim Farley said that Ford is selling an average of 10,000 EVs per month. So it's definitely growing. It's increasing. They've had some issues with their dealers wanting to sell them. They were asking dealers to invest $1 million into being a dealer set up to sell EVs. We previously discussed this. And so that's just kind of interesting to see where they're going. And they're looking to slash the Ford F-150 Lightning production in half from 3,200 EVs a week to just 1,600 EVs a week. But they're still selling it and they're still moving, but it's not as fast as what they would have liked. Anyways, for our next story, this is kind of a good one. So, the company best known for making off-road vehicles in the US, Jeep, is introducing at the end of 2024 a Jeep Wagoneer that's an all EV with 600 horsepower and an estimated 400-mile range. It'll be the Jeep Wagoneer S, and they've been working on the concept since 2022, and they're looking to target other mid-size SUVs like Range Rover Sport, BMW X5. Anyways, they unveiled on Thursday the production variant, and it has some coupe-like styling of the original concept. It remains recognizably a Jeep concept. Let's see here. I have an image of what this probably will look like here. See if I can make that a little bit bigger. Right about there. Now, Stellantis is already offering a Jeep Avenger to its European customers, but this would be the first pure EV for off-road here in the United States. Anyways, um, it's going to be a pretty high-end design. Looking to see, they're looking at 0 to 60 time of about 3.5 seconds, which makes it about as quick as a Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. That's pretty cool. Like, I figure it's about 600 horsepower, 400-mile range. Very nice. It'll be a pretty good sized battery. I bet that's going to be more than a 100 kilowatt hour battery, probably like 130, 140. Let's see. And it's slated to begin production in 2024 alongside the Recon SUV. Despite general EV hesitancy in the States, people have had no trouble with buying electrified Jeeps. The Wrangler 4XE was the best selling hybrid in the country in 2022. Whether or not that mild introduction to electrification will help ease the transition for Jeep buyers, things are about to change at a rapid pace. Kind of goes along with what they're doing with the Ram 1500 that's coming out with 650 horsepower, but it's going to be sort of a hybrid design. Anyways, just doing a short broadcast today, and I hope everybody liked that. If you enjoyed the content, please like so it gets shown to more people. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Otherwise, have a great